one thing this bike will never be is a looker. It's a very business-like little bike. How can I explain it? It's more military looking than shiny. It's not a shiny bike. So I don't think you just wash it. If my shiny bike is my monkey bike. Do you know the one thing that really gets on my nerves about mobile phones is this: if you get a message and it keeps ding 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 ding, it won't just ring once and then sort of right. I'll look at it when I'm ready. It's been twittering and nattering. What the hell is it? So one was a reply to something I sent to Richard, and the other one was from Chris Brownbill. Him and Rich went out yesterday up into the Dales, and I said to Rich, how was it? He said, well, apart from the ice, God dear me, he said it wasn't a bad day really. Oh, and by the way, Chris had a puncture and dropped his bike twice. I thought, bloody hell, I didn't think what a bad day was then. Bloody hell. So the ding ding on my phone was I'd sent a message to Chris, are you alright, and is your bike alright? And he said, yeah, I'm fine. He said, look, he got the puncture at Wetwang on the way back. I don't know where he dropped his bike. I don't know if the ice had anything to do with it. And he said, Miles Kingsport are coming out for the bike on Monday. So I hope everything's okay with your bike, Chris. But here's the thing, I was talking to him a few days ago and he's expressed an interest in an Africa Twin or similar. And I said to him, one of the things you need to think about, Chris, if you drop an Africa Twin or whatever it is you decide to buy a big adventure bike and you're on your own, can you pick it up? Because I most certainly couldn't. I couldn't pick up that Africa Twin, and if I dropped that NT 1100, well, besides the fact it had probably a turned turtle and smashed itself to pieces, I definitely didn't have me thinking out on straight that day. It's something I've learnt at. I dropped Woody, my Pulse 250. Well, I didn't drop him, he blew over in the wind. And it bent the clutch lever, but not so much as you couldn't ride it. But the first time I squeezed the clutch lever, as is the way, the end bit broke off, so I just had the last sort of 2 inches of lever. Anyway, I managed to get the bike home, limped it home, and then repaired it myself. But this is my point, you buy these big bikes, you've got to be a fit, strong bloke to pick up something as big as an Africa Twin. You want to be in your prime. And I can remember seeing, what do they call that lad? Here we go again, my bad memory. Richie Vida. I can't just remember exactly where he was, but he had an off on his Africa Twin, absolutely covered in equipment. I mean, they're heavy bikes before you start loading them up with everything but the kitchen sink. And to get it back on its wheels, he had to take everything off it, and even then I think he struggled a bit. So, and definitely as you get older, it's maybe something you don't want to admit to yourself, but your strength goes. My niece Gabriella. She's a keen athlete, and she regularly, you know, she does this, you know, where they press weights. And there's a picture of it she sent me this morning of her working out in the gym. And I'm not kidding, she picked up some weights, and I don't know how much was on it, but I'll tell you this much: I know I couldn't have picked it up, and but I could have done once upon a time, you know, in my 30s, 40s, no problem at all. Now, God, I struggle moving a bloody refrigerator. Right, so now we're running straight into the wind. So this will be the test. The wind's there. Yeah, it's gone over the top of my head. It's definitely more noticeable. I can feel it on my arms, but here, there's more pressure there than there is here. That's quite interesting. 50 miles an hour for the sake of a... That's 51 now. I think if I was riding any distance, I'd stop and put my earplugs in. But I think I'd have to do that whether I had this on or I didn't. The difference is there's a still area of air here, you can feel it. There's nothing there. Yeah, there, that's where you can feel it. But it's clean air, it's not turbulent. Right, this is a bloody dangerous crossroad. You need to keep your wits about you here. I'd gotten with the NT, so I was walking past it, even, you know, going out, oh, I'll go for a ride on the NT. And what was happening was I was getting the monkey bike out every time. And every time I got the NT out, it was like, oh, it's a bloody bike. You know, that you don't want that feeling in your head about a motorcycle, which is costing you a lot of money. And it was sitting in the garage with outstanding hire purchase on it. Whereas my bikes now, oh, I'm going to go through the village. I don't like this road. Yeah, whereas the bikes now, they're mine. That's it, paid for. The only money I spend on them is petrol, you know, road tax and insurance, which is very reasonable, and you know, buying you know, like I bought the shock absorbers for the little bike, and I bought the bits and pieces for this one that I've got. It's very enjoyable. I've never owned a classic motorcycle, but I imagine this CL is probably about as close as I'm ever going to get to owning one. It's sort of, you know, it feels like an old-fashioned motorbike. It's a lovely little village, is this. My younger brother lives here. Very, very pleasant little village. This is Lund, L-U-N-D. Yeah, you see, even with the, I mean, what I'm doing, 80 miles an hour, with the visor up at the moment, hey, it's alright, it's fine. I try really hard not to use my open face helmets anywhere other than out, you know, in town. Helmet, should I say. When I go out of town, I like to have a bit of chin protection, whether it's this one or the RI. But I don't really get on with that RI. I used it to go on holiday last year, and it was alright, but I'm not all that impressed with it. I'm considering what it cost. I find that particularly the cheek pads in that X4, they're a bloody nuisance. You're not careful when you're putting your crash helmet on, you dislodge them, because they've got a real daft way of fastening in, like two little lips. It's dead easy to dislodge them, and then you're begging about with a stupid helmet. I think I'd have been much better off buying a showy Neotech. I think that's the helmet I should have bought. I was having a look at that one at Chris's the other day. Bah, what a nice piece of kit that is. About the same price as what I paid for my RI. That RI, the peak on it is dead handy, you know, on evening when the sun's low. And that's about all the good I can say about it. I ain't got that good to say about it other than that. It's not a very convenient helmet to use. It's difficult to get on and off. It's the right faff to fasten it. Just go careful at this corner because it's a nasty, blind bit of road. Yeah, we're all right. Get some of the warmer, shorter summer evening rides, and I'll use the little monkey a bit more. But I think when I go further afield, this is the one I'm going to use. The big problem with the monkey is after about 25 miles, you're just uncomfy. You start to ache. But it's nice. It's just a nice alternative. I don't really want the expense of running two full-size bikes, but this one and then the little monkey. People say to me, "Do you have more than one bike?" I say, "Yeah, I have 1.5." You work it out for yourself. Oh, that tree finally blew over. I'm not surprised, it was rotten. Looks like it went the right way, luckily. Yeah. Well, I think it's fair to say that with regard to this Puig fly screen, it hasn't moved. I think it does what it says on the box, and personally I think it's fit for purpose. We're very quickly coming up on 1,000 miles, I've just noticed. 946 miles. Right, well, I'm nearly home, so I'll say bye-bye for now. Please like and subscribe, and I'll speak to you all again soon. Bye for now. Ta-ta.
Oh. There goes Graham on the mighty sail.